Welcome to the second summit in the Get Out of the City series, the Simple Living Reset. My name is Bharat Berwing. My friends call me Bharat. And my mission is to support people to get orientation and practical solutions of how to start a simple life. Yeah, what mindset is needed and how to just live a normal life. Yeah, how life is supposed to be. Actively creating solutions and alternatives to the 9-to-5 system. And here on the summit, we have spoken a lot about solutions in terms of homesteading, in terms of health, in terms of building. And now I want to go into one topic that is connecting several dots. And I want to set up the scene by saying why this is important for me. Yeah, I have worked on a desk in an office since I left school in 2001. Day in, day out, breathing the air in an enclosed building, not having much sunlight, not having much movement. And I was wanting to look good, young, being strong. I was going to the gym and I ate these pulverized nutritional supplements. I was increasing my weight and my strength. And then out of the blue, I got allergies. Suddenly, I couldn't eat an apple, a carrot anymore. And I was looking for root causes and I found solutions. I detoxed. I saw I had too much acidity in the body and eating too much processed food. I made a 180-degree turn and put health as my number one in life. Yeah, I mean, I cannot do anything if I'm seriously ill. And even if I'm just somewhat unhealthy, I will be at least less motivated, less awake, less alive, less effective and powerful in all that I do. So I kept fitness in the center, but I created more independence in not needing the gym. Yeah, more staying fit at home, being more responsible. I was using the bike instead of the car, going to swim before going to work. And we had a big cut in our lifestyle 10 years ago when we moved from Germany to Fiji Island. And suddenly there were no supplements, no facilities. I couldn't do any Tai Chi anymore. No one else was doing some sort of exercises. But I was outside every day, fresh air, sunshine, picking coconuts, working in the garden, being with the kids. That was the most fulfilling thing ever for me, just working with nature, teaming up with nature. And now for this summit, I was a lot in front of the computer. And I now use systems where I just built a little station where I can stand, just some wood, so I don't need to sit all day. And I have a little trim bike, a fitness bike, with my keyboard on it, so I can sit and move. So now I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, and yeah, one of the first things I do is having some fitness exercises to wake up, and then I do some breathing. I go out with my wife to have 1 hour walk, and yeah, I do a lot of skipping rope and moving every day because I know I need that to stay calm, to stay focused, to stay enthusiastic, and to stay happy. Yeah, not just healthy. And mostly I just get that from being in the garden. Yeah, that is easily priced into that lifestyle of simple living. Now, long story short, our guest today, he is very fit, physically and mentally. Actually, he is a master in many disciplines. Henry Kreuter, also known as Sifu Slim, is describing himself as a modern hunter-gatherer and as an outlier who's living life as a modern hunter-gatherer. He is holding the programmed human beings, seeing how they get into altered states. He has mastered that and is now sharing with the world as a wellness coach, teaching the pursuit of natural wellness as the best medicine to get into that altered state. A grounded, evolution-based form of wellness, and that giving that natural daily euphoria. And he is at an age just about 60, and he has that sweet spot in balance of the body, mind, and spirit, or mind, body, spirit, as he is saying. I'm used to say it the other way around. And he's embodying usefulness, playfulness, being fit. So with no further ado, welcome, Sifu.
Bharat, I'm very glad to be here with you folks today. Great introduction. And you talked about being sedentary and what that did to you. I tell people that my grandparents did not live inside of drywall. That's the cement board that we use in the United States to put up on the wall after we have the wood and the insulation. Drywall here in Germany, it might be concrete, cement. In Austria also. In the ancient times, it was all stonework. But in the ancient times, people were out on the farm. They were out on the trails hunting, gathering, these types of things. They weren't living inside of walls all day long and all night long. And the people who build igloos up in the northern parts of Siberia, and Canada and Alaska and these types of things, the Inuit people in Alaska, they just go in there when there's a storm or to go to sleep at night. Most of the time, they're dressed for the outdoors and they're out and they're moving around, breathing fresh air, getting some sunlight. They built those ancient sunglasses with a little slit. So this is what they were doing. They evolved just like animals, and the human being is part of the animal kingdom, and they're living by walking, crawling, climbing outdoors, getting some hunting and some gathering, and then carrying that in a basket, carrying that over their shoulder, and then they bring back to their area where they cook it up and they prepare it and they do their thing, and then they go to the igloo to sleep or to take a nap, a siesta. That's what we're supposed to do, but for some reason, the last 2,000 years, 8,000 years, people started doing more indoor living, and it's accelerated over the last 50 years during my lifetime to the point where that's one of the biggest problems we face.
You have described that in your book, Sedentary Nation. The answers are not found in the new millennium, they are in 1910, and you're guiding people to get off the sofa. I was very attracted by that title, and I hear you. The root causes of many modern civilization diseases is in just living indoors. So what can we do then? What is something that you propagate after your lifelong experience in mastering many martial arts and mastering so many different styles of fitness?
So I'll share with you that starting at age 10, we moved to a farm in very rural New Jersey. And in 1972, when we moved to this farming area, about 55 miles from New York City, where my father was working, he wanted to put us out in the country, and then he wanted to come home at night and be in the country because we had been in the suburbs about 25 miles from New York for my first 10 years, and he grew up in that area. So besides being away in the Korean War, he'd lived in that area most of his life, besides college and being in the Korean War on a ship. So he moved us to the country, and he knew that that's what we needed for as a family, and he needed for his peace of mind. He wanted to be out working with animals, with plants, with the trees, chopping down trees for the fire, all of those things that our ancestors were doing as a normal part of their life. He wanted to tap into that, so he brought us to the country. So as I've been living in Vienna, Austria, 5 of the last 6 summers, and I lived in Kitzbühel, Austria in 2017, and in Augsburg, Germany in 2018. Any chance I could get, I went out on the trails with these beautiful pine trees up these beautiful mountain hills or down by a stream, and I did my exercise program, which I would consider a mixture of yoga, Pilates, martial arts. There's a couple more functional training, which is like if you want to get stronger hips for running and skiing, you do these little simple exercises that put the hip into a place where it has to put out some functional effort, so it's in a good biomechanical position. So, and then I mix in Michael Jackson dancing, the stand-up movement, and then the Tai Chi. So it's kind of a combination, an eclectic exercise program. And then once that's done, which takes about 40 minutes, I'll go do some things with bars, with tree branches, hanging, leg lifts, chin-ups, and then I'll do some either sprint running one day, and then I'll do some distance running or a lap around the lake another day. So it's very varied. It's not like I'm a yoga practitioner who does 2 or 3 different types of yoga every day. I mix in yoga to my main program, and that's a big help in the union between mind, body, and spirit. So that's a little bit about what I do. And if you combine that with the outdoors, like I did when I was a kid going to play sports in the park and on trails, and then we moved out to the farm when I was 10, you realize that nature, all the trees, the plants, the animals, the clouds going by, they give you a gift that you don't even know how to put into words unless you're a poet. It's the clouds, the change of the sun, it's moving. It's a gift that does things to your neurology, to your physiology, and to your heart. And if you could do that 20 minutes a day, an hour and a half a day, or like you working in the rural area with farming, you could do it for 8 or 10 hours a day. It's incredibly helpful and healthful for our system and our mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah, we have some speakers here on the summit who share exactly about that, how the sound of the birds make the plants grow bigger. And even you live somewhere where you don't have many birds, you can play the sound of birds. I'm very lucky because here are so many birds, and when I go outside, there are orange trees, fig trees, and yeah, it's just a natural environment. In the city, people nowadays, they do a lot of the calisthenics, right? But often this is more about looking good, being strong, but searching for nature, yearning for nature, and being with the elements. And it sounds like you playfully bring together those different disciplines in a masterful way. And I'm thinking there, maybe I'm a little blocked because I'm thinking maybe this is just for you because you are so experienced in all those areas, and you are so strong and trained. Maybe this is just not for me, starting now in my age.
Well, if I go out on a hike with people, and I happen to do that about an hour south of Vienna this summer, one person that I was with, ancestry is from Egypt, she's from Germany. She brought her boyfriend, who's from Brazil, but he's Arabic in descent. So he's a mix of all these different things and speaks a lot of languages. Another friend of theirs was a Russian person who's studying and working in Vienna. And so we had all these young people and me, the old guru Sifu type guy, and we're going up mountains that are this steep, and then they go down and then they go up again. And it's the summertime, so it's pretty warm. So we have our water, we have our sunscreen, we have our hats, and I'm the fitness oriented guy. But these young people, they got into it, and I had to keep up with them because they were, I would say the endurance distance runner, she does like 100-mile runs. She's training throughout the year, but not every day. So I knew she was going to be good. I had no other idea that these other young people who have normal jobs and studies were going to be that good at hiking. So I had to huff and puff to keep up with them. So you never know what your skill set is going to be once you hit the trail.
That's so encouraging. Yeah. I love moving. And I was yesterday here, I was thinking, maybe someone seeing me thinking it's awkward, but I just did my flow jumping. I don't use the skipping rope often anymore. I just do it where I am when I feel my energy is going down. I don't want to lay down anymore feeling my energy is going down. I often just need some movement to get the heart pumping again. And then I move my body in a way that is, I have not learned that somewhere, but it feels good. It's going with the flow. But I understand you give systems. How can you give that to people, give them structure and at the same time individuality?
So what I call myself is a coach in fitness, wellness, and lifestyle, or like interventions with like a psychologist does. So the life coaching would involve me asking people while we're doing some stretching or some Pilates type movement or some yoga or walking or running. I might ask them a question: what's going on at work? How are things at your home or your apartment? How are things with your family? And so rather than me being a coach that like just does fitness and 1 and 2 and 3 and higher and up and down, I don't do that. Once I teach you the movement, you can see me doing the movement with you or on one of my videos that you can use. So, but if I'm with you through a Zoom call or in person, I will be talking with you, and then you will be asking me questions about things that you're working on in your, performance at work, your connection with your significant other, your raising of your children, your energy level, your sickness, the pandemic that has been going around for a few years, all of these types of things. And so as a person who spends a lot of time reading and listening to experts, and interacting with them and having long conversations, then I'll share some of that information with you, kind of like Yoda and Luke Skywalker. And that's sort of the role that I've morphed into. I was always a Yoda in training. I was never a Luke Skywalker trying to defeat a bad enemy. I was always, even a young person, I was like a medicine man of a tribal culture. And I evolved through all of that hard work and consistency into the skinnier, taller version of a Yoda.
Yeah, what a wonderful picture. Yeah, my wife now is reading in a book about contagion, and we have several speakers here at the summit that have worked with energy, with the biofield and tuning forks, sound vibration, healing with sound vibration, and the electrical body, Aileen McCusick or Vida Austin working with water, and how frequency, how our words, our mind is having an effect on water. And yeah, many people believe that that disease comes less from something that is external and is taking over our body, but more from how we take care, how we maintain our bodies, how we maintain our terrain, and how we move, how we eat, how we breathe. And especially, I find that remarkable, most of them come to the point of the emotions and the mind. And Ayurveda, I learned Ayurveda before going to Fiji. Ayurveda is saying every disease coming first from the mind. Of course, not like literally, but yeah, the mind is first, and the mind is feeling, thinking, willing. So you have a holistic approach, and you look at all the life areas and not just telling people, here's the tool, do this, do that. But
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
you let the people lead in their life. They are expert in their life, and you help them to connect more with themselves and also do the inner work.
Yeah, and if you look at the human being, the mind, body, and spirit, karma, and there's many more things you can put on that list. If you have a problem in one area, it tends to affect the other areas. Just like if you have a problem with your nose being clogged or a headache, sometimes the physical therapist or massage therapist can press points on your feet, and then all of a sudden your right nasal passage clears up, or your headache starts to dissipate. So just in the human body that so many things are connected. And then when you mentioned the vibration, so if your vibration, like right now, I can tell you that by getting up early, I did tennis ball rolling. So I rolled around on the carpet, and then I take 2 tennis balls in each hand, and then I press that all over my face, my scalp, my neck. So I make like a post and I massage the back of my neck. I did most of my body in about 6 minutes, and it's almost as good as going to a massage, and I got it done in 6 minutes. And then I did floor exercises like the functional training, hip exercises, abdomen, calisthenics, some yoga, some Pilates, and that took me about 40 minutes. And then I had some breakfast. I organized my place. I'm in Denver, Colorado, not Denver. I'm in Frisco, Colorado, about an hour and 40 minutes west of Denver on a ski excursion right now. So I did all that, and then I connected with Bharat, who had good energy. So I can tell you that my vibration right now is pretty high. If I had to rank it on a 1 to a 10, I would probably give it an 8 or an 8.5. So it's really this dynamic energy of you do the right thing on the carpet, and with your physical movement, with your intentions, with your organization of your neurology of what you're going to do today, what your strategies are for your performing of your tasks of the day, what your mindset's going to be. And then I got my first chance to meet Bharat, who's got lots of good things happening, has got a family, he's working on farms, he's got webinars and workshops that he's doing. So my vibration kept rising, and who knows, at the end of the talk today, I could be at a 9 or a 10. So that's kind of what happened to me today. And I was going to ask you if I could share screen right now and show you a 1.5 minute video.
I love to see it.
Okay, here we go. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Why aren't you opening? There we go.
Okay, I can see it.
Play.
Okay, Sedentary Nation. I cannot hear it yet.
Go way back in time. Clem, author of Sedentary Nation. In Sedentary Nation, we're going to go way back in time. We're going to look at the oldest fossils according to the anthropological studies, over 6 million years old. We're going to take a look at the movement patterns of those people, the hunter-gatherers, all the way up until the modern era. We're going to look at the agricultural revolution about 10,000 years ago and what that did to our lifestyles and our movement patterns. Then we're going to look at the industrial revolution, being in machines, the systems of production, what that did to our anatomy, our physiology, our focus, our sleep, our wellness patterns. And then we'll look at the modern era, what's known as the couch potato syndrome, or the office potato, or the car potato. We're trapped inside of our modern conveniences, and what that does to our sleep patterns, to our happiness, to our wellness, to our relationships with others, and to our ecosystem. So what does living in this modern society of production do to us? And how, if the wellness answers are not found here, how do we get more well by looking at the patterns of people who came before us? Let's take a look at all of that. Sedentary Nation is a step-by-step process that shows you how movement can be reintroduced into our modern, busy, wired era. And I hope you enjoy it. Take a look now at Sedentary Nation.
Very inspirational.
So you heard the birds chirping as I was speaking. So you mentioned that before, and I'd forgotten that there were birds chirping behind my Sedentary Nation promotional video. So there's a little karma and kismet happening between us.
Yeah, as a little bonus. Yeah, the signs are there. Yeah, you mentioned the intention, starting the day, and there are habits, and yeah, in that context of our modern couch potato syndrome, yeah, how to start? I mean, for myself, I continuously work on my habits, and I observe with different weather, with different life situations, things change, but I see that the more steady I am in eating before sunset, eating at a certain time, going to bed at a certain time, eating specific things, I notice more the different changes that it makes with my body, and I'm able to fine-tune it. Yeah, the couch potato syndrome. Do you work with habits and building habits, or do you see that there's any kind of quick fix and what people can do to quickly evolve from that?
I have a real quick fix for you. Drink water all day long. Bottle 1, bottle 2, jar 3, teacup 4, skiing bottle that doesn't break in my fanny pack 5. This is my San Pellegrino botella Fonitalia. Von Italian. And so water is the first gift that we were given, and that was the first gift that nature was given, because without water, we perish. So you know that if we start fasting, if we get dropped off on an island, we can live without water for a very short time. Our energy drops, we get brain fog, we get depressed, and our system shuts down. So it's like 3 days without water. Some, thin people like me can go maybe 3 or 4 weeks without food. A heavier person can go for 2.5, 3 months. I forget the other thing that we're supposed to have: food, water. Having other people around us is also good. You know that if you go in prison and you have solitary confinement, you start to lose your mind very quickly, unless you're some sort of a guru yoga master that you can meditate and get into a different state of mind, into a different Zen experience. I've never been to prison, but I think it would be very hard on me, because I love being around people certain times of the day, to interact with them, to learn from them, to coach them, to experience life with them. Over to you, Bharat.
Yeah, water. I have just calculated in my mind, and I have put into my system around 3 liters today, and it's almost 3 o'clock now. Yeah, I'm preparing in the evening some tea, and sometimes I put into my water Lugol, iodine Lugol, together with DMSO. So I drink that warm when I wake up, right when I wake up, and then I drink another bottle of that. So in the early morning, I have 1.6 liter, and it's like my body is soaking it up. After waking up, I need a lot of water. And yeah, later I need it for my voice and to stay hydrated. I can resonate with that a lot. And for me, it's a little science to drink at the right times, to not forget it. But yeah, the habits, they help me to stay in the zone. My wife had that. She was always drinking too less, and she bought a bottle with like motivational little little quotes, and then drink more, do this, do that, and you're almost there. And then she's drinking, I think it's 2.5 liters. And since she's doing it, she says no headache anymore, and she feels more energetic. Yeah, I notice for myself, I'm just more awake. And yeah, it's that easy. Just drinking water.
Yeah, get good sleep, get human interaction on a growth level or a therapeutic level, and fun level. Those are just 3 quick steps. We do interact with people at work, but sometimes there's not always a trust relationship. Sometimes there's stress. Sometimes there are different things pulling at you or people at work to save your career, to advance in your career, to function throughout that being inside all day. So it's a little bit compromised, in my opinion, being in a work environment. But be social beings when you have time, whether it's a meal, exercise program, a walk in your neighborhood, whatever you can do, that social activity. And they've done the studies, the people who study longevity, they go to Okinawa and these different blue zone places, and they see these people who are 110 years old, and they work in the garden, and they bring some of the garden produce over to their cousin's house, their sister's house, their friend's house, and they play cards and they eat food. And some of them have been doing that for 50 years, and that promotes wellness and longevity. I am not selling people on longevity. I'm selling them more on the idea of being well. My goal is to be well, meaning no pain, meaning my digestion's working, my microbiome is working, my brain is working. I can crawl, I can do chin-ups, I can dance. Right now I'm skiing, I can run. So I want everything to be working in mind, body, and spirit 100% of the time. That's my goal. Sometimes you have an injury, sometimes you have a cold, sometimes you get a little depressed, sometimes there's a person who needs a lot of your help, a lot of your time. Whatever the case, you make the best of it. And that's the thing I would tell to someone if they are depressed and almost suicidal or even very suicidal. I say our ancestors had many bigger problems than we do. How did they do it? And one of the first things that comes to my mind is they made the best of it. It didn't mean they could always speak what they felt, what was in their heart and mind, but they made the best of the difficulty, the challenges, the chaos. That's a great word. There's a lot of chaos in the world, and it's just the way it is. You see a volcano, you see a storm ripping things apart, you see a hurricane in the Dominican Republic. That's a lot of chaos just from nature. So you put the human being with their psychology and their wants, their greed, their desires, their inadequacies, and you put them with a bunch of other Homo sapiens, there's going to be some chaos. So how did our ancestors do it? Well, hopefully they drank water, they worked outside, they got tired from their work, like Joel Salatin, the farmer. He's doing physical work, he's working with animals. At the end of the day, he eats, the sun goes down, and then 2 or 3 hours later, after maybe a reading, maybe talking with his family, maybe sending an email, he goes to sleep. And that's the thing that I think is the biggest helping piece of the wellness equation is go to sleep 2 or 3 hours after dinner without staying up clicking on some sort of a digital entertainment or a digital interactive device, which can mess up our neurology and our sleep patterns. And Ayurvedic medicine, they equate stress to improper sleep. Some of the practitioners say not enough sleep, inadequate sleep. And when I talk to them, I say, don't just say that, because some people are sleeping for too long and they never quite wake up. So they're couch potatoes they're bed potatoes and they eat bad food. Talk
Yeah.
about proper sleep. And that's the thing that I think we lack compared to our ancestors who were very tired at the end of the day instead of being wired like many of us are.
I'm very happy you're saying that about the quality of the sleep, because often I hear that, yeah, you need enough sleep, and then it can be more a self-limiting belief that is disempowering, where we feel more like a victim. I need sleep to recover. And in Ayurveda, it is being scientifically stated that you don't need much sleep. It's important, for example, sleeping before 10 o'clock. Before 10 o'clock, it's a different energy that you go to sleep with from the biorhythm of the body. It's a more recharging, deeply recharging sleep. The longer you sleep before 12, before 10, it's a different energy. And if you sleep earlier, you can race earlier without needing more sleep. And if you sleep longer, you get more into a state of inertia. Ayurveda calling that the tamas or tamasic status of the mind, and then we feel sluggy and we feel grumpy and we feel more of these negative feelings. And the energy is lower. If someone would measure it, it would be lower. Sleep. Quality sleep.
There's a piece called diurnal living, di-2, and urnal has to do with the day. So the diurnal living means you get up before the sun and you see the sunrise, and then you start to wind down your day at sunset. So in the tropics, the sun's setting late, but in the north, Europe and America, Canada, other places in the north, it's going to set earlier in the winter. So there's different skills and activities you can do to read, work with a fire, have that downtime. Like if you're in Alaska and you've got a 7 or 8 month time of being cold and having the sunset early, then you have different things that you can do. You can do woodwork, you can do arts and crafts, you could do exercise, you could read books, watch film, whatever. So those are things that you have to adapt to your system. But if you're living, let's say in Portugal right now, you get up before the sun, like a hunter-gatherer or a farmer would, and then you see the sunrise as you're doing your exercise, your farming work, your milking of the cows, whatever. Hopefully you can take a nap. And I don't say, if you have the freedom, I will say, take a nap when you're tired. So let's say I get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and I do 3 or 4 hours of good stuff and I've had food. At the end of that time, I'll have that big meal. And then it's 10:30 or it's 11:30, whatever the time is. And if I need a half hour of sleep or an hour of sleep, if I can, I will do it right then. And it's amazing what happens is your body, from all that activity, that physical activity, could be exercise, could be work, could be digging, could be moving hay, that big bales of hay. And so you do all this and then you have a big meal, and then your body it takes the oxygen and the blood from your brain and it puts it down in the digestive tract to work through all of the food that you put in there, and your body gets tired because it has less of that oxygen and blood flow to the brain. And then the system does its thing and it takes those nutrients, carbohydrates, fat, and protein through your bloodstream, and it starts to work and do all the things that it does, one of which is healing all of the shoulder muscles, all of the hand grip muscles, all of the leg muscles, all these things that you just used. And then it has to process that food, all those molecules through your system, and then excrete it. And that's what happens at the end of the nap. You oftentimes, if your system is working, you get up and you use the restroom and the bathroom, and then hallelujah, you hopefully had a good microbiome and everything's working. And now at the end of that time, it's 11:30, and you go out and you do your next activity. You go do this, or you work on the computer, you get on the Zoom call, whatever you do, and you do your work, and then you take a break like the English people do. I think it's 4 o'clock, they do tea time. Go do your tea time and take another break. And then if you have more work to do or food preparation, you go do that. And then you have dinner. And so that, and then the sun starts to go down. And that's the second part of the day. And you should be thinking at the end of dinner, somewhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending on when the sun sets, that's the time you should be quieting down your system, not using the computer as much, connecting with your others. If you're a significant other, hugging and kissing. If you're with your kids, you can be playing, you can be helping them with their schoolwork, building their arts and craft, getting them, away from the digital entertainment. And then you put your kids to bed, and then you and your significant other go to bed, and then there you are. You've had a beautiful day of functionality. And so that's just a typical day using the hunter-gatherer method into the computer age world, and how you can still adapt and live like a hunter-gatherer.
I like how you not say, hey, don't use the computer, but hey, use it when it's time. Don't use it at night. And
Yes.
then when you're tired, take a break. Yeah, I like that very much. Power naps. And Ayurveda saying better not doing it longer, like half an hour, 20 minutes or so. And I often experience when I'm super tired, I can just sleep for 10 minutes and I'm feeling so recharged, because I can, in that moment, I can fall asleep immediately. And then after 10 minutes, like when it's actually no time to sleep and I have something else to do, I take that time, and it's so powerful. Yeah.
Can I share a screen and show
Please.
the busy people something that I believe in about, I'm looking for it right now. Let's see if it's this one.
Busy people.
Okay, here it is. All right, now I'm going to share a screen. This is for people who work with their hands and they don't know what to do to fix the problems that they get from the elbow to the wrist, called carpal tunnel syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
And so I keep hearing people who have that. And when I asked them what their therapist told them, they said they gave me medication. This is in America. They gave me, in France this summer, I asked someone too. So France and America are two places I've asked people. They give me anti-inflammatory, pain medication, and they told me to ice or heat, and then they told me to stretch it. Not once, and I've been asking these people for about 15 to 20 years, not once have they told me how to strengthen it. If you have a shoulder problem and it's healed, and all these muscles get smaller and atrophy and weak, don't you think it makes sense to strengthen this when the pain is going away? So this is something I put together about carpal tunnel. Here I am in Santa Barbara at the Mission, and it's I believe it's sunrise, early morning in the colder months.
Cannot hear. Yeah. Maybe a little louder. Maybe you can click into the browser and load the page again. Yeah, here we go. Santa Barbara in the early morning. You can share the link to me and I can share it. I can cut that part off also. cannot hear you.
All right, so here's the video filmed early morning in December at the mission, the Spanish mission in Santa Barbara. And this is about carpal tunnel syndrome and strengthening these muscles, tendons, ligaments, tissue between your elbow and your wrist so that when you're using computer, iPhone, you're doing bead work, you're working with anything to do with your arms, this, I hope, will help you.
With a beautiful, très très belle, muy bello. Look at the sun back there. Isn't that incredible? Way out there behind that sun, you can see the island. And we've got all these islands off the coast of Santa Barbara, and they block the big waves. So we sometimes have to go far away to get the waves that we need. Morning, Padre. And so what are we doing this morning? Are we lying around like lumps on a log? No, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to invite yourself into the morning. Now, if your hands are cold, look at what we can do. We can ball up our hands inside of our gloves and we have less surface area. We can keep our hands toasty. And then when they're toasty, we go back to this, and then we can be normal, or if we're really warm, we can roll up our gloves. And this is my anti-carpal tunnel. Who wants to wait until they have carpal tunnel to start exercising and stretching and decreasing inflammation? So you want a good grip and you want to avoid as much as possible carpal tunnel and have it really strong from shoulder down. You roll up your gloves. The grippy gloves are very comfortable, nice friction. You roll them up and you squeeze from pinky up. And you don't want to be in this position. You want to be in this position, this position, this position. It's a better posture for your shoulder. So when I'm walking around or running in the morning, probably 5 times a week, I'm gripping on this. And I'm a writer, so I'm on the computer a lot, lots of emails, lots of writing. And I'm not a big texter, but let me tell you, I'm on the computer a lot. When I write my book, sometimes 8 to 9 hours a day, I'm on the computer. So this is the lifesaver. So drag yourself, I shouldn't say drag yourself, invite yourself out into the gorgeous morning. And the world is yours. The world is your oyster, and the morning is your place to get that breathing going, get your blood flowing, and get your feet. Here's a foot right here. Put this foot in action. And when you move your body, mine's currently 178 pounds soaking wet, which I'm very happy about because I don't want to be 170. I look kind of, it's a little too thin, like I just got out of a prisoner of war camp or something. Anyway, I am very happy that you take these feet and you carry your torso and your body around with you. And that does all kinds of wonderful things. And you know what they are, so just go out and do it. So look at the sun that's coming up over the mountain. And look at the look at the island. Sorry, there's the mountain on the island. Look at the islands off the coast of Santa Barbara and come visit us and look at the fountains that were built way back when. This one probably dates back to the 1800s, but the original settlement here was 1725, I believe, and at the Mission Santa Barbara. So the mission's just gorgeous. Let's take a look at the mission over here. Wonderful. And the mission is a place where people lived, people ate, and people worshiped. And this was the spot where I'm going to turn around here so we can get me in the light now, where the Spanish settled. And this goes way back. So for America, this is really old history in terms of our stonework and our masonry. That's pretty old for us. We have, of course, tribal people who go way back, but for habitations of what they call sedentary people formed villages and built structures that were permanent, semi-permanent. This is a very old place for the United States. So anyway, Sifu Slim, sifuslim.com. Take a look online at my books. Sedentary Nation, #1, The Aging Athlete, #2, and #3, the title's up for grabs. It's about training junior athletes to be well-minded, mindful, balanced people. Send me your comments below, make them respectful, make them fun, and let's enjoy life together. I'm Sifu Slim, wishing you all the best in your health, happiness and wellness. Aloha. Hasta luego. Ciao. Over for.
All right, so there you see the sunrise, the diurnal living, and it's basically it's a free way for you to tap into your mind, body, and spirit, to put that in balance. Oftentimes I'm in bare feet, probably 80% of the time I'm in bare feet, so you're getting grounding while you're out there doing it. And you see the sunrise, and if you're with your friend or significant other, you get to share that time together every morning for an hour, hour and a half, 50 minutes, whatever you have. And that to me is the gift that your psychologist would say, why are you so happy when you go in to see them? Well, you did this outdoor activity in the morning, you saw the sunrise, you breathed fresh air, you got your blood flowing and your oxygen moving and your DNA enlivened by all of this proper living, this authentic, historic, evolutionary living from the hunter-gatherers, and you did it on a trail. And let's say I'm in Los Angeles, I might even do it at a parking lot because the people aren't there at 5:30 or 6:30 in the morning. And I'll find a bench, I'll do some exercise on the bench. If there's a kid's playground, I'll use the bars and the slide for my push-ups and chin-ups. So all of these things you can do right in your neighborhood. And depending on the weather, you just dress. Like if it's snowing and cold out, I'll wear my ski outfit. In Colorado here, I've done exercises where I've been in the snow, so I have my ski boots on and I'm doing it, and I don't go to a gym because I want to be outside as much as possible. So that's the thing that I found that allows me, Sifu Slim, throughout my last 40 years to tap into the hunting and gathering people and to help my psychology handle the rest of the challenging, chaotic day.
Sifu, when you say that, one question. 1 to 10, what's your energy level now?
You're talking about my vibration, right? My vibration,
Yeah.
my eyes are lit up.
You had
I'm
an
breathing.
8.5 before.
Yeah, once I saw that video of me looking younger 2.5 years ago, no, 3 years ago in the wintertime, I said, hey, I'm excited. Yeah, there's the ego. You can play with your ego too. You can say, hey, I wasn't such a bad hombre back there 3 years ago, right? And I can feel the intention. I really care about people. I have a lot of empathy, and I want to help them with some of the insanity of life. I mentioned people normally aren't getting trained about strengthening this area, and so why aren't we getting trained in that? It's so simple. And me being a physical person and a therapeutic person, I said, this works. And so I'm teaching as many people as I can about connection between the shoulder and also their brain, but all of these areas that we need to use so that we can be, this is a horrible position, to be on our laptop. And so there's different ways with ergonomics and biomechanics. You can make your desk set up better, or you're sitting in a chair or in your bed working on your laptop. There's many ways you can make that better, but you still need all of this functional and active and strong. And I do that 5, 6, 7 days a week, and I'm on the computer a lot, and I don't have big, strong muscles, but I have very functional, strong muscles for a thin person, and it's working. And I'm so blessed that I've never had to go into a doctor for carpal tunnel problems.
Yeah, I'm touched by your care, and yeah, I would like to ask what else is there that you want to share with the listeners before we are getting into wrapping up? And I also then want to know how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, this having a program for living is really important. When we talk about farmers, they have a program. It changes each day based on what the animals need and the plants need. So you have to have a program that's adaptable and flexible. And I believe that will serve you more than anything. You have a program to clean your kitchen. You have a program to prepare food, to take care of your car, to walk your dog, to floss your teeth. What about a program for your outdoor physical activity where you're making that union between mind, body, and spirit. So have a program, drink water. That's the big thing that I will add. You want to be hydrated, and you will develop a taste for water. I'm in Colorado. The water doesn't need to have chlorine. In Vienna, Austria, and most of Austria, because of the mountains, they don't treat it with chlorine. So get a good water source, and hopefully don't keep it in plastic, keep it in glass, and use that as a way to revitalize your system. It will increase your energy. It'll help your digestion. It'll do wonderful things. So those are two things that I say are high on my list for your human performance in the world that we live in. And then how to get a hold of me, go to sifuslim.com, and I have a way to book an appointment right on there. It'll say book an appointment, and you can put in a time and a date that you want, and you will get a response back. You can watch my YouTube channel, The Real Show with Sifu Slim. And there are lots of interviews with me with wellness experts, psychologists, famous athletes, regular people who show you what they do in their daily program, tennis pros, all kinds of cool stuff on there. And then there's some things like that carpal tunnel video where I'm just inspired to have a little 5-minute, little 3-minute message about things that I'm doing to promote wellness and functionality in my life. And I hope those two things, and maybe reading a book. I have 3 books out there, and they're all available on my website. So those are some things that I offer, and they're part of my guru Sifu connection with people who want to learn more about those things and hopefully transform their life into being a highly evolved modern hunter-gatherer.
Yes, hopefully many will take up that call to action. Yeah, put this foot in action, you said, and yeah, transform your life. It's possible. And I like your care. They're making it simple. Whatever one needs to do, yeah, just full utilization, being aware and acting upon what the body needs. And you to me have that charisma of a playful, excited child that's caring and wanting to help humans. Yeah, and you mentioned human performance. You see systems and how to build something, how to do something, and you have it done for yourself to stay in that thrive zone. Yeah, and you want to help others to get into that. That's so much resonating with me. And yeah, when you stay adaptable, flexible, build systems, I feel a lot of connection. It's those simple things. It's drinking the water. It's being with other humans and having fun, not forgetting those essentials. So I feel impacted and supported and encouraged by what you share. And I wish that many who see this, they will get more inspiration from you reading one of the books, watching the YouTube videos. And yeah, I would wish you health, but I think that's coming as a byproduct of your living style. So I'm just wishing you happiness and all the best for your future life. And I thank you very much for sharing with us and supporting us. Sifu.
Namaste, Bharat. Schönen Tag. Auf Wiedersehen. Viel Glück. Be well, everyone. Buenas tardes. Buena noche. Just be well. Embrace this life we have. And remember, it's just about these little steps and adapting them and welcoming them, la bienvenida, into your life. And I hope that benvenuti in Italian, welcome these things into your life. They're done with good karma and good intentions, and they will serve you well, and you'll be smiling in perpetuity. How about that?
Yeah, I I'll do it. Okay. Sifu Slim. Living the good life, simple living, reset, getting into the strive zone. Thank you. Namaste. Danke.
Namaste.
Tschüss.
We'll talk soon. Ciao.
Yes.